Well, I was going to say TGIF, but the Flames took any enjoyment and excitement out of this day before it even started, really.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I am your host, Jess Belmosto, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Today, we're going to talk about the disappointment that was the game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, dissect it from the difference makers to looking at it by the number breakdown, and then talking about what's going on with Devin Cooley and how he was recalled today and could be making his NHL Flames debut during the regular season this weekend against the Panthers. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We are here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, your team every day. And let's dive right into it. When I was looking at the difference makers and trying to define this game by game, right? Because you don't want, this game is not something you look at immediately and think of the positives. Like, I can't even be like, Nazem Kadri, that goal was sick. I look at the score and I'm like, what happened? How did we go from winning and putting up 4 goals in a game prior to allowing 8 and scoring 3? It's just tough. And when I look at the difference makers, I'm thinking, is it good? Is it a good difference? Is it a bad difference? Like, if this was different, could it have made a good difference? And I don't have any words to describe the performance from the second period on. It was a mess. The first period was a very good performance. Jonathan Huberdeau opened the scoring again, which is great. I love seeing that, and it's great to see him find his offensive game again, because for the longest time, he was too afraid to shoot. And then when he was shooting, he couldn't hit a beach ball. Like, there was no way for him to hit any target. And now he's scoring consistently in games. And that is great. That is something I love to see. And it's just nice to see from a $10.5 million player. And we're going to talk more about Huberdeau's scoring and point streak a little bit later, but I do think that has been a difference this season as well. I mean, heck, the home opener, he had a 4-point game, and it feels like that finally cracked the egg open, and he is able to, I don't want to say flourish, because that makes it sound like I expect him to put up Florida Panthers numbers, and I don't ever expect that. But for him to have 11 goals on the season in December, when he finished the season last season with 12 and only had 1 point through the month of December of 2023, I will take this and I'm going to run with it, and I will make sure that. But I do think that he has been able to find his offensive game again and kind of pick up for what's been missing and make up for lost offense. I don't know how to explain it other than something changed this offseason, and we've seen a big difference in the last 8 months alone. So I'm going to take it, and we should all be grateful for it, because it very much feels like a double-edged sword with Jonathan Huberdeau, because you can say, well, we want him to be the $10.5 million player that we signed and extended. And then it's like, well, no, why is he only good now that the Flames need to tank and blah, blah. And it's just like, no matter which way you look at it, you're not winning. But there is still something to be happy about, I promise. Kadri had a good goal too. Speaking of difference makers, that was a crazy goal to jump over someone and then do a spinorama and then score a goal. Okay. That so effortless and clean. That is something you would see at a skills competition. Like the Harlem Globetrotters of hockey. And I thought it was fun. It was great. It really was a good effort in the first period. I will say that. I thought the Flames looked fine. I thought they looked good. Yes, it did get a little sticky, but it didn't feel like they were completely out of the game. And then the second period started and it just somehow got a lot worse and worse and worse. But there's only so much that we can do, right? Like, I can sit here until I'm blue in the face and say the Flames defense needs to be better. What is that accomplishing? It is the same issue that it has been since October. And they're working with what they've got. Either they need to start changing up the combinations or make some in-house calls. Could other people benefit from being scratched? Braden Pahal. They're not going to scratch Kevin Ball, but both of them stress me out beyond belief whenever they're on the ice. But coming up next, we are going to break it down by the numbers because boy, oh boy, do the Flames have some numbers and explaining to do. Coming up here on Locked On Flames. Prize Picks is the best way to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two or more players for a shot to win up to 100,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks, and Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Pickmas. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. My favorite thing about the FanDuel app is just how easy and accessible it is. As someone who is technologically illiterate, the FanDuel interface is fantastic and super simple. And I will likely be putting some money on an anytime Jonathan Huberdeau goal tomorrow against his former team, the Florida Panthers. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you're following me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Just Belmosto. When I tell you that I don't know what I watched last night, I mean that. I looked at at Dan Vladar's save percentage. And I thought I was seeing things. What a brutal night for Dan Vladar. A whopping .692 save percentage. I don't know what happened last night. I don't. Other than the Lightning are a better team, which I talked about yesterday. But it was the breakdown of most breakdowns. And I hope the team's embarrassed by it. They should be. That's not something like you ever want to see. And this is the second time Dan Vladar has allowed that many goals in a game. His first time was his NHL debut in the bubble back in 2021. But it's just very concerning that they let Vladar start that many games in a row, have that performance, and like they didn't pull him. I don't know why they wouldn't pull him to give Dustin Wolf an opportunity to kind of not even save the game, but do something to not humiliate Dan Vladar. And it didn't happen. And I'm not sure what that choice was or why that choice was made, but Ryan Huska makes the big bucks to make these decisions. So another thing that was entirely embarrassing was Jake Guentzel's hat trick. What are we doing? What are we doing? He's a great player, phenomenal player. However, you need to be quicker. You need to think on your feet. You need to be reading plays better. Just try to stop a puck, maybe. Just an idea. I know, bold strategy. And then Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov had 6 points last night in a single game against the Calgary Flames. This is deplorable. And I know I was just praising Jonathan Huberdeau for having 4 points against the Flyers, but it is so different when it happens against you versus to you. And we know that Nikita Kucherov is an elite, high-end level talent. And it is so frustrating watching your team just go out there and poop all over themselves on the ice and let these teams dog walk you. Especially, I don't think the Tampa Bay Lightning are particularly likable. Just my opinion. So like when it's a super unlikable team, it makes it feel even kind of worse. The penalty kill that I praised so highly the other day came back and disappointed me. What a miserable performance. 0 for 3. The Flames had no power plays that game. And you know what? A disciplined game. I don't understand. Yes, I do understand. I know why. It is very easy to lose control of your emotions or just make silly mistakes. But the Flames they have to be better. And I know that is something I have beat into the ground and something we can all say a million times over, but you need to start seeing better performances from your defensive groups. I'm sorry, but Kevin Ball and Braden Pahal last night were just not good. And you can try to use plus minus to justify or explain your reasoning, but when you are on the ice for as many penalty kill goals as you are even strength, like I feel like we need to start looking at some questions here. And that second power play unit is brutal. Tomorrow night, I want everyone to be paying attention to the second power penalty kill unit. 37.5% at the faceoff dot. What is wrong with this team? Where where do you expect to make the playoffs with those kinds of numbers? And I get it. Yeah, some nights it's not gonna be 50-50. It's not gonna be 48-51 or relatively close, but like, what do you mean a 37%? That is miserable. That is horrible. And it goes to show you that the Flames do need stronger defensemen, or not defensemen, sorry, centermen. They need more defensive centermen. And you don't really have that in your organizational depth right now. And again, this is something you're going to want to acquire through the draft. Teams are not necessarily trading their great young centers. I mentioned Dylan Cousins before, and his name has come up again, but is that a player that even fits what Calgary is doing? Can you see him working out here? Or is it going to kind of fizzle out the way Kuzmenko did? Like, it doesn't make sense for the Flames to be buying unless unless there is something incredibly attractive out there and it makes sense. But right now, I don't feel like anything makes much sense. And we know Craig Conroy has been working the phones. And I guess, players can benefit from a change of scenery, and Dylan Cousins might be that player, but there's still a lot of time left on his contract. So we will have to wait and see. But coming up next, we are going to talk all about Devin Cooley being recalled. And what's going on with the goaltending situation. What might this coming week look like? And who may end up being sent down to the Wranglers should Cooley have a superb appearance. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million monthly global visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work and use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. So, the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/locked-on. Just go to Indeed.com/locked-on right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/locked-on. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with me today. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. It was announced this afternoon that Dan Vladar is headed to IR, and Devin Cooley has been recalled from the Wranglers. I talked a bit about Cooley yesterday in our Down on the Farm checkup, and my God, he is having one incredible season with the Wranglers. 1.3 goals against average, 942 save percentage. He is playing out of his mind, and it is a feel good story, 100%, because he was, I don't want to say he was a misfit, but it's nice to see him slide in so easily and kind of pick up where Dustin Wolf left off with the Wranglers. But this is an emergency recall since Vladar is day to day with a lower body injury. What now? It does look like he will potentially start against the Panthers tomorrow. I don't know. I truly don't know what's going on with Dustin Wolf, because he obviously hasn't been starting a lot. The last game he started was the game against Dallas, and Vladar has gotten all the one since, and then I think one prior to that as well. And is he sick? Is he hurt? Like what is preventing him from what I would assume starting while Cooley backs up? Is Huska making him earn his spot back? I guess I'm just curious, and I would love to know the answers because, I mean, it makes sense if you are trying to ride the hot goalie, which was Vladar. He was doing great, and then obviously hit a wall. But Dustin Wolf, like, I thought that, there were definitely times where the every other worked, and it was great. It was going smooth. And then it made sense to extend starts, go 2 in a row. Okay, then 3 in a row, and then back to the other goalie. But Huska didn't do that this time. Things got out of control, I would say, and he just kept playing Vladar as if he was the starting goaltender, like he would with Markstrom. And that is so fascinating to me because Wolf has shown the ability to play well. And I don't know why you would want to drive your goaltender into the ground like that if you don't have to. So that's what makes me think there's something going on with Wolf in terms of a nagging injury or some maybe being sick. And you can't really, I guess if you had to, you could put Wolf on IR and have Vladar back up if he doesn't actually have a lower body injury. But him having a lower body injury would make sense because he could have re-aggravated his hip from his prior surgery, or he could just be strained and they might take it easy. There are so many different things that a lower body injury could mean. Like he could have rolled his ankle. Okay. Probably not, because we know that athletes play through a lot of different things. But my point stands. I am very happy for Devin Cooley. So happy. He is someone that has worked hard. He is someone that has earned this. And we talk about it all the time, especially in the Flames organization. Your call up and your spot on the roster is earned. You are not given anything just because of your reputation. You have earned it. You have demonstrated the capabilities to do what you're being asked to do at that highest level that the team is looking for. And Cooley has had a great season in the AHL, and he's talked a lot about it since coming over from San Jose and during free agency, and just talked so highly about the Flames goaltending coaching and just how kind and educated and informed everyone is, and just how smart they are. And you can't teach that. You cannot teach. Like, I can't go read a book and learn how to be a goalie coach. I can't do that. So, I mean, maybe some people can, but not me. And I feel like you can teach, but that doesn't mean you're a good teacher. And I think what's been super effective within the Flames organization is the way their teachers and instructors and coaches do that. They teach and they're effective communicators. And that's why the season with Sutter was so bad, because there was horrible communication. And it feels like this year there's definitely some signs of like not great, but I do think that this team has established much better communication amongst each other, and that's what makes the team work. quite honestly. But I'm curious to see if Wolf starts tomorrow night or if it is Cooley, because obviously Cooley has been playing in the AHL consistently, been putting up great numbers, and Dustin Wolf just hasn't been playing, but also going up against the Florida Panthers. Like, what are you trying to scare this kid? Like, what are we doing? Just throw him right into it, I guess. Sure. I think anything is possible right now. I don't expect the Flames to really do anything on the goaltender front. I saw a tweet last night. It's funny. This person was clearly joking, but they were like, "Oh, the Flames should phantom IR Dan Vladar and call up Cooley." And then like 8 hours later, that's yes. But I do hope that Dan Vladar is okay, and I hope everyone is feeling well. It is unfortunately that time of year where everyone is sick, and I would like for the Flames to stay healthy and score me some goals. But that'll do it for this week's edition of Locked On Flames. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy hockey, football, whatever you're watching. And remember to subscribe to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube, and share it with your friends, because why not? The more the merrier. See you all on Monday.